Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new video today. And today's video, I want to talk about why Formula One is dying basically a slow but painful death. And yeah, obviously, this isn't a criticism video, so, if you think I'm going to criticize people here, I'm truly not. All I'm doing is explaining why I think Formula One has basically become so boring, it's almost unwatchable. Now, Lewis Hamilton is on the verge of eclipsing all of Michael Schumacher's records. And, quite honestly, many people thought it'd take decades to get to this point. Instead, it's taken about less than a decade or two to get to the point where Schumacher's records are at threat of each single one of them being broken. Hamilton's got now 88 wins, he's got 91 poles, he's on the verge of matching 7 titles, just like Schumacher had, and does have. Basically, Hamilton's on the verge of not just eclipsing Schumacher, but destroying Schumacher's records. Hamilton will most likely extend his contract for the next 3 years with Mercedes. And not just that, the thing is, Hamilton's going to be in one of the best teams as well next season. Mercedes' advantage in Formula One is something, I think, incomparable to what Ferrari had back in the early 2000s. And the reason why I say it's incomparable, you compare actually this to the domination of Schumacher. You just think of it, just stop and think about that for 1 second. And the reason why I say stop and think about that for 1 second is because Ferrari had their problems. They were beatable. They almost were beaten to a championship in 2003 to the driver's title. And that's no lie. They were almost beaten. In fact, Schumacher only won the 2003 championship, his 6th title, by just 2 points over Kimi Räikkönen. Hamilton has won all 6 of his titles with Mercedes by well over 60 points on average each season. Basically, Hamilton has had it comfortable. I know the point system is different, therefore it is a bit unfair of me to necessarily indulge into that sort of, perspective in terms of giving you a comparison in terms of points. But the thing is, even back then, 2 points, was barely nothing. So even today, I know the swing is a lot more these days, and the swing was a lot less back then. But the thing is, had it gone on for that season for one more race, maybe Kimi Räikkönen would have beaten Schumacher to the 2003 championship. That is my point. Whereas right now, it seems no one but Bottas is capable of challenging for the title. And even Bottas seemingly isn't capable of challenging for the title. And this domination hasn't just gone on for one single season since 2014. It's gone on for 7 seasons. Yes, not 1, but 7. 7 years in a row, seemingly, it looks like Mercedes will win their 7th drivers and 7th constructors. And the thing is, with now the regulations stable for next year, for 2021 now, after the 2021 rule regulations have been set back to 2022, it seems apparent Mercedes will be the favourites once again going into next year, due to the fact they'll have the same car more or less, maybe slightly upgraded in terms of the parts, but that's about it. Otherwise, Mercedes are going to have an identical car to last year or to this year, and basically it will be the best car on the grid, unless someone uses the development very, very wisely and makes a huge stride forward. But that's unrealistic, and you know what, not just unrealistic, I think it's probably not going to happen. So we're going to see Mercedes dominate Formula One once again next season, most likely, claiming a 8th drivers and 8th constructors title. And I know it's so early on to say that and to make that prediction, but it's probably a safe prediction to make. The chances of it happening are fairly likely, and are probably high, in fact, I would say. And that just shows you, I think, how good Mercedes have been. And all credit to those back at Brackley, you can't fault them. But what I am saying is, due to the lack of competition, people are starting to switch off. People are no longer tuning into races because everyone knows who's going to win. It's either Lewis or Bottas. And, it's not just been Lewis or Bottas, it's been Lewis or Nico. And, as I say, the only challenge Hamilton's had over the past 6 years in a row, now make that 7, is from his teammates. And only one of them, Nico Rosberg, has actually been able to clinch a title away from Lewis Hamilton back in 2016. But even then, Lewis Hamilton was the man to beat. And okay, people say, Vettel challenged Hamilton during the 2017 and 2018 season. Okay, yeah, for the first half of the season, for sure. It was a pretty close, the championship was changing almost every single race in terms of the leader leading the pack. But the thing was, once we got about to midway point during the Formula 1 season, Mercedes would just turn up the tempo and Ferrari could not handle that. And the same goes for Red Bull. Red Bull seemed to always struggle to start the season, but, finish the season well. But the thing is, it's not good enough to mount a championship challenge to Mercedes. And okay, that's their fault, not Mercedes, for coming up with such a good car. But the thing is, it's put Formula 1 in, I believe, a position now that's almost unwatchable. And you know what? If you do miss a race, it probably doesn't make a difference because you know who's won, Lewis Hamilton or Bottas. And this is why I look forward to seeing the 2022 regulations. And I really, really hope, that these regulations will basically change the look of Formula 1. And not just the look of Formula 1, but will make it a much more competitive sport. A sport where the driver can make the difference once again. Because I believe for the last, 10 years, basically, the driver's only made probably around 30 to 40% of the difference. And the car's basically made all the difference. Having the best car in Formula 1 these days basically earns you a one-way ticket to a championship at some point during your career. We've seen it with Vettel, we've seen it with Schumacher, we've seen it with Hamilton. How much more evidence do you need to see that having the best car basically gives you almost a forfeit to the championship? And the thing is, Formula E is starting to look more and more attractable. As Formula 1 slowly dies, Formula E slowly rises. And okay, Formula E is about the future of racing, I suppose. But the thing is about Formula E, the driver can make the difference. The driver, if they nail the lap, could be 20th or could be first. And that is literally what I want to see Formula 1 to be like, where the driver makes the difference. Yes, okay, the technology in Formula 1 is most cutting edge technology, but Formula E isn't far behind. Formula E is starting to look like a series many competitive drivers would be willing to take up. And that's the thing. I personally been watching it for the last decade, and I may, if Formula 1 doesn't improve in the next 2 years, say goodbye. Or not say goodbye, but not tune in as regular to Formula 1. And I may try and find a different sport, motorsport, I enjoy more. And that well and truly could be Formula E. So, yeah, that's basically it then, folks. Have a great day. Please subscribe, like, and share this video. Until the next time, see you next time.